Hey everyone, and welcome to the Redmen TV. I'm Steve Hoare. On this week's Journo Insight, me and the Liverpool Echo's Paul Gorst had a chat about Mo Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Trey Nyoni, Joel Matip, but also Harvey Elliott. He's back doing running at the AXA. I spoke to Paul about when we can expect to get Harvey back. Can he get himself in the team? What are we going to learn about Liverpool's methods about getting players back fit after long-term injuries? Because we haven't really seen them have to go through that yet. So check that out. If you want to check out the entire show, go to redmenplus.com. If you sign up as a monthly captain and use the promo code JOURNO, JOURNO, you'll get your first month for 50% off. So if you like this clip that you're about to see and fancy checking out the whole show, then yeah, redmenplus.com is the place to go. Right, let's get to our conversation with me and Paul. Let's move on to an injury update then. Harvey Elliott. Liverpool did the statistics themselves, which in itself is interesting, Paul. They put up lots of pictures of Harvey Elliott returning to training on their social media. Obviously, Elliott was out with that broken foot, obviously, since the last international break, when he flew over from England under 21 duty. So it's been about 6 weeks or so now since Harvey Elliott last played. Monday, he was back running. I don't know if that means Chelsea this weekend is a realistic target. We don't know. But first of all, good to see him back. Yeah. He's been Liverpool have done well without him, of course, but you mentioned earlier, was it 7 games now in 3 weeks or something, and then an international break and then massive games. Liverpool are going to need all their players back, so this is a big one. Yeah,
I mean, when he got the injury, the sort of early talk was that he was targeting a comeback for Chelsea. Yeah. I was speaking to someone, was it last week, who, they felt that might have been a little bit optimistic on sort of Harvey's part, and he was there was a picture of him in the gym, wasn't there, on his Instagram one day last week, and then I think earlier this week, now he is back out on the pitch, which is usually a major sign of progress. I think it'll be interesting to see when the training pictures come out this week if he's involved or not, because that'll give us more of an idea of whether or not he's in the frame to play against Chelsea. Liverpool don't see any need to rush him back. If they don't think he's 100%, they won't sort of throw him into the mix, because they've basically got 6 other players there who can play, and certainly players who are playing well in McAllister and Gravenberch certainly. So there'll be no rush on him, but knowing him, what we know of him, he will be desperate to get back playing and really sort of look to stake a claim in the coming weeks. But yeah, positive news. We'll see if he's involved or not at Chelsea. But if he's not, I wouldn't really, I don't think that's anything to be concerned about. I think, he will get his opportunity in the coming weeks, and he'll be desperate to take it, I think, because of the way he ended last season, the way he was playing in pre-season, it looked like he was looking to sort of take that next step in his Liverpool career, and he sort of said as much to us when we had a chat with him in Philadelphia. He said that he's only 21, but he's looking to really take another step towards, becoming a leader in the Liverpool squad, and all that sort of comes to a bit of an abrupt end or an abrupt stoppage. So be good to get him back and see what he's like.
Why do you think they put this out on Monday? Do you think it's just international break, we need some content to fill? Because maybe because I'm just thinking that this isn't the norm, really. I don't know. It feels like Elliott doing his own stuff on his Instagram. He done the hourglasses, didn't he? When he was in the gym and stuff. But this is actually Liverpool's official platforms that have decided to put this one out again. It might just be there's nothing else to do with the international break, but also maybe good for Harvey, good for everybody just to get an update on where he's at. But I don't know, this doesn't feel like the norm really for this kind of stuff to be. So I think they've done like a gallery on the website of all the pictures as well. It was like they went really big on Harvey.
Yeah, I remember when he came back to training after the ankle issue he had in 2021. I think he came back around maybe late January, early February time of 2022. Liverpool rolled out the red carpet for him, and in terms of the social stuff. And I think maybe sometimes they like to do that with some players and just sort of remind them that they are valued and they are seen as an important part of the setup. And like you say, maybe it is just a case of we need content during the international break, and obviously speculation is going to sort of emerge from seeing them out on the pitch running about and in the gym, but it's nothing negative, is it really? It's just talk of when he might be back, and I think fans can't wait to see him back, particularly in the new system that sort of accommodates a number 10. I think he's a very different sort of number 10 to Szoboszlai, but he does have the qualities to play that more in a traditional role with his touch and his technique and his ability to pick passes. So Yeah, I can't wait for him to get back and really stake a claim, because I just felt that he ended last season in such good form, and then he carried it on in pre-season, and it was all brought to a stop, really, which was gutting for him, really.
Absolutely. Again, this is more an opinion. We'll get back to the injury update in a minute. But where do you think he sits in the pecking order? Because it's obvious the manager's first choice midfield is Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, McAllister. I think no one would argue that that's what he wants. We've seen Curtis come in recently and start playing. It feels like Harvey and Curtis are battling for that next position. Is that fair saying?
Yeah.
I wonder where he sees them both, because I felt in pre-season Harvey seemed to be getting the more advanced role, maybe so that's him, but yeah, two young lads there, two diehard Liverpool fans, both of a relative similar age, competing. It'll be interesting to see what you think the pecking order might be for Arne Slot.
Yeah, I mean, Szoboszlai's got the shirt at the moment, hasn't he? And I thought some talk of him not being 100%, and that's why he started on the bench against Palace, but I thought against Bologna he probably his best game of the season, certainly in terms of pressing from the front and closing gaps and making sure that they couldn't really get out. I thought he was really good, and Slot's obviously challenged him to add goals and assists to his game, hasn't he? So Szoboszlai is the first choice at the moment, but I'd just like to see Elliott get a bit of a go in that role. I spoke to Slot in the press conference after the Arsenal friendly. I think you were there as well, and he didn't really give much away. I sort of asked him, Harvey Elliott, they were 2 brilliant assists. What can he provide for you in the number 10 role? Has he got the sort of ideal characteristics for it? And Slot said, well, he played well because the team helped him play well. Yeah. So he doesn't give much away, but like I say, I just feel as though in the sort of archetypal number 10 position, Elliott has got a lot of what you need for that role, and like I say, Szoboszlai has played well in the last few games, so no reason to sort of drop him. But I'd love to see Harvey Elliott get a run out at Brighton in the Cup, for example, and maybe a couple of other games that Liverpool should be winning on paper, but there aren't too many of them, are there, over the next few weeks?
I've got the fixtures there, because it's interesting. You said there maybe Chelsea might be a little bit optimistic. They go Leipzig, Arsenal, Brighton, Leverkusen, Villa. Brighton in the Cup's an obvious one, but there's no ease of player back in game. There's no game there where you think, with all due respect, we might get away with not playing our best team. They're all really tough games that Liverpool have got. Again, my guess is at Brighton in the League Cup, he might make wholesale changes like he did for West Ham. But to say ease a player back in, Chelsea at home, Leipzig, who are currently joint top of the Bundesliga, and it's a Champions League fixture. Arsenal, we know how good they are. Brighton at home, Leverkusen, German champions, Aston Villa, Champions League level club. There's no easy. Yeah, mate. Start this one. We'll give you an hour, because they're all big games.
Yeah, and this is the knock-on effect of not being in the Europa League like last season. You certainly had that opportunity there. Thursday nights every other week. Rotating, rest, and all that. Can't really do that now. Though Liverpool have made a great start to the Champions League campaign, haven't they? 2 wins so far, and I think they beat Leipzig. It's quite big, because they're just keeping themselves firmly in that sort of top 8, aren't they? So, yeah, but there aren't many opportunities there really to select to blood someone back into the squad, other than perhaps a game state where you're 2-0 up, 3-0 up with 20 minutes to go. But obviously you can't really bank on that, and that might not happen. So it's a case of when Elliott is back, he's going to get thrown into the deep end either way. Yeah,
absolutely. I suppose, like I say, you mentioned before, it was maybe optimistic to think ahead to Chelsea. It will be interesting to see where and when he does finally get himself back in the team, or back on the squad at least, because from this point of view as well, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't, touched wood, and we don't see this often, but a relatively long-term injury, again, we're in the unknown here with Liverpool, in that we used to always know he's been out for this long, he'll probably come back there, and we knew roughly the timeline. There's a whole new fitness staff, there's a whole new team in place, Arne Slot's in charge, it's all different. We don't know, are they extra cautious, are they more willing to just throw a lad in? I always felt under Jurgen Klopp and maybe his medical team, Liverpool always erred on the side of caution. If it was 4 weeks, probably say it's going to be 5. They always just took that little bit more care. Arne and his he's spoken glowingly about his fitness team and the fitness record. We're going to learn as well how they bring a lad back from a 6-week layoff. Are they get back into it straight away, or are they one of those ones who ease them straight back in and maybe give them a little bit more time?
Yeah, it was always the sort of, not a hard and fast rule when availability dictated it, but in a perfect world, I think with Klopp, it was 2 full sessions with the team, and then you're considered for the next game. But like you say, we're in sort of unknown territory now, aren't we, with Slot and how they handle this sort of stuff. I think the good news is, Alisson aside, Elliott's the only other injury, isn't he, really? So it's a case of not having to throw him back in. And I think that hurt Liverpool so much last season, the fact that they got so many injuries at the same time. So when players were coming back, they were having to start games when they weren't 100%, and then that has a knock-on effect.
Trent's the obvious one, isn't he? Trent in the Arsenal game should never have been playing.
And Mo Salah as well, to an extent. And maybe he's a little bit of a special case, but it's different now. So I think we're going to find out a little bit more about how Liverpool handle injuries now under the Slot regime, and there's no real rush to throw him back into the mix. He might even be on the bench against Chelsea on Sunday, but I don't expect him to be featuring prominently. But then you're looking at it, like you say, with them fixtures, and you're thinking, where is he going to play? So it's a difficult few weeks really for all that, but I suppose it's part and parcel of being a player at a club like Liverpool. Absolutely.
The thing, and Alistair did say this before the last game, actually, he was like, I've got a big squad. I've got to whittle my team down to me subs bench, and I'm still leaving first choice players out. There's been a day where Wataru Endo wasn't in the squad, or Kostas was. Like, he's in no massive rush. If someone got a little bit of a niggle, it's almost an easy way for you to go, actually, mate, you can have another day, and you can say to Wataru, right, you're back on the bench, because at some point, again, I understand with Alisson, as and when Harvey comes back and touch wood, nothing else happens, there's going to be a first team player, not even in the matchday squads, never mind, on the bench.
And I think as well, what we might have to get used to is, when the training pictures come out and someone's not in training, it was normally a bit of a panic stations, this player must be injured. But now I think players sit out sessions in order to make game days.
Jota did that, didn't he?
Jota the perfect example of that, with the was it the Bologna game that he was involved in, but he was missing in training the day before. So it's just a new way of working, and I think that might take some getting used to. I think if training pictures come out this week and let's say, for example, Chiesa isn't there, and then it's all, Chiesa's not going to be fit for Chelsea, but it might be a case of him sitting out the training session in order to make it for the weekend. So it's just a new way of working, like you say, and we're all getting used to it. We're all sort of finding out how it works on the slot, and it's difficult to second guess them now, isn't it?
Absolutely. I can't wait to get Harvey back. I think he's fantastic. One of my personal favourites, I'll be honest. I'll be biased on that one. I think he's fantastic, and I like his family as well. I flew home with his dad from Milan. His dad's good value. He's a good guy. So I like Harvey Elliott. I'm a big fan of him. Can't wait to see him back in action. I'm like you. I think there's a very good chance he gets in the team and stays in the team at some point, and there is no slight on the other people who were in that team, because they're great as well, but I think Harvey Elliott's ceiling's massive.